Of course, I got in about 2 in the morning last night. Do I look like Lubie? Good morning, by the way.
You look
Do I
good.
look like I need a cut, man?
You look good. I'm proud of you. You're like ready. You're on time. All the guys there didn't have to stress out waiting for you. Look at you. A new day.
I'm a professional. There's no question about it. And I don't like to lose a job on the first day of the job.
That'd be good.
Which is ugly. Because we already lost one job, and we got fired by Fox. And in fact, you and I, Lubie, are the only starters that were ever beaten out for a job by Brady Quinn. If you can kind of wrap your arms around that concept. Florida, which is in the state of Florida, has been in the Stone Age forever. I mean, we're still operating by blue laws. I don't even know if you can buy a beer before 12 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm not sure what religious cult is responsible for the legislation that takes place, but essentially Florida is structured this way. We're here in South Florida, which is very hip and up with modern times. And once you get, what you say, north of Palm Beach, Mike Lubitz, West Palm Beach, Florida, for those unfamiliar with the geography of the state, if you get like 30 miles out of town here, forget about it. It's Hillbilly City. You're hearing banjo music and somebody's telling you to squat down like a pig when you pull up to the Waffle House. Just the way it is. Leslie Visser, a lovely and talented one. I mean, the first woman and for a long time, the only woman. There are now two in the NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, in there with all of the greats, Johnny U, Joe Willie, all of our favorites, Joe Montana, the great Dan Marino, and Leslie Visser, part of the scene in the NFL Hall of Fame. But what level of distinction is it to be the first guest on our new program? Because I would imagine, Leslie Visser, and by the way, how are you? Thanks so much for joining us here on the program.
Is this an after-school special?
This isn't practice. We're doing it. We're all over the world.
Congratulations to you guys. I'm so proud to be your first guest. And, of course, I have a number of things to go over that maybe this time it could be different. You know, it's not the gambler's creed.
You think we're going to erase the past all at once here in one program? It's impossible.
The time.
Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Somebody loan me a dime.
Very appropriate. We're begging for money before the show even starts. We thank the great Albert Castiglia. Thank goodness this young man was not tied into some onerous record deal, hideous-looking contract like he eventually signed with Blind Pig Records. I hate to keep outing that record company. I think they're based in Germany somewhere, and they signed a lot of blues artists. But somebody loaned me a dime. That's what it's all about, especially after this last weekend here with the Breeders' Cup and all of my tickets going up in smoke. I think I cashed one $2 Exacta ticket on the entire Breeders' Cup card. When you're going screen to screen, that is dangerous, I tell you what, because exponentially the amount of losses starts adding up. It's almost like the rate of inflation right now in the United States of America, where I have three little drecky things at the grocery store, and it's $72.50.
Exactly.
Will that be cash or credit? Nobody has any cash anymore either. Very interesting what's happening. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, usually in this slot. Now, we have an unconventional version of it coming up today. We had hit a stroke of brilliance, and we'll be back with that next week. Our experiment out of the studio there with the green screening and the Hialeah Park clubhouse superimposed behind the boys. And we were able to incorporate all of your telephone calls and play the game in the legitimate fashion that we had established over the last 25 years. But would you say, I don't know, I mean, we had a way to do this today. There was this conflict at the studio that was scheduled way in advance of us even being part of the Ion Channel team. And it happened to be today, which was our Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge Day. So we thought we could work this out. I guess I knew it was probably an 86 in terms of the way we wanted to conduct the show when I asked the Paulie man if he had a laptop, and he said, I don't know. He's going to be joining us today, though, and we are going to give a prize away, and we're going to have a couple of series of questions here. Dave Gergely also going to join us, and then Gergels, our guest, does not have his own laptop, but was going to have one available to him where he works at Schuler's at the golf course. But what was the issue there, Mike Lubitz? He couldn't figure out. He didn't own a pair of headphones, so was that the deal?
He didn't have the headphones wouldn't fit, which I still don't understand. Every computer has a place for headphones, and he couldn't get into his email to get to the site.
There you go. And that's why we should rename the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge the Geezers at Caesars. Hey, you think Cooney has a shot? How shot of a fighter was Jerry Cooney when he met Larry Holmes and the Geezers at Caesars? Well, I guess Larry was shot too. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been Geezers as in plural, because Holmes was still okay when he fought another Geezer at Caesars, and that was unfortunately the great late Muhammad Ali. I made a lot of money on that fight. Yeah, that was one of the great betting swindles of all time, because Muhammad Ali, I don't know if you remember this, Lubie. It might have, were you around when Ali fought Larry Holmes at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas?
No, sir.
So anyway, the story goes like this. I mean, Ali had been in a series of very boring fights. What was a bloated semblance, not even a very poor semblance of himself. And, it really looked to be absolutely finished. And nobody would have given him a chance against his former sparring partner. Guy, maybe, you could say Tyson Fury has a pretty good jab, but I would have to give Larry Holmes. Is this fair, people? Talking about trivia. Did Larry Holmes have the best jab ever in the history of the heavyweight division? He wasn't a big power puncher, excellent boxer, pretty good defensively, could take a punch, but man, could he fire that jab out there? As we used to say, almost in cliche-like fashion while calling boxing matches, the piston-like jab has been buzzing around the face of his opponent all night long. So anyway, Ali was given no shot in this fight, and then he's taken some thyroid medication, and all of a sudden he shows up with a picture in the newspaper looking ripped and cut like the day that he stepped into the ring to fight the great Sonny Liston at the Miami Beach Convention Center in 1964. I mean, it was a throwback from like 25 years prior. And he looks like he's in dynamite shape and ready to go, and everybody loves Ali. So I think he went off as the 6-5 favorite over Larry Holmes in that fight. And you've probably seen clips of that because it's very sad. Any documentary on Ali, I mean, you're literally seeing the epitome, the embodiment of a shot fighter, a guy. I mean, it's requiem for a heavyweight, my friend. There was just nothing left there. And Holmes is begging the referee to stop the fight, like from the first round, where it's apparent that Ali has absolutely nothing. And I don't know, Angelo Dundee would tell the story that, wow, I mean, Freddie Pacheco, I don't even think he showed up in the corner that night. He was so embarrassed that they were going to actually do this thing. And he had warned Ali several times that, listen, this is going to cost you a big price later on in life if you keep getting bludgeoned like this and hitting the head so much. But they let it go for a long, long time. And unfortunately, it just perpetuated and continued to do further damage to Ali, who, as we know, was afflicted with Parkinson's and was essentially impeded from about his 50s on.
Yep.
Until his passing day, but was still cognizant of things that were going on. I mean, just a great man, one of my favorite athletes of all time. If not, I don't know that he would be my favorite of all time, but certainly, I mean, a monumental presence in not only the sporting world, but in life in general. And so many different things were swirling around Ali, and he was so symbolic of an era of change and protest and awareness. And he was a big part of that, surprisingly so, for a guy, a relatively uneducated guy. What did he drop out of school in the 6th grade or something? And, was not exactly, a scholar, but yet seemed to have a wisdom that went far beyond that of the common man. And had his brains beaten in, though, that night by Larry Holmes, 6-5. And I feel badly now about it. You ever make a score and you feel badly about it?
Nah.
Look, how do you bet against Ali? And yet, at 6-5, I mean, that was about as fat a price as you're ever going to see on what appeared to be a veritable cinch, and that was Larry Holmes winning that fight. But there was, it was just a great time, a great period of time in the history of sports, as was, Lubie, the UM-FSU series, which I know you're all about. And I don't know that this game has the significance we were talking about on the show yesterday. Tony Segreto was trying to sell us on the idea that this game is still big. I don't know that it is. I'm looking at my handicapping sheet here in the New York Post. Where else would I turn right away? No, but I don't even really get that heavily involved in betting college football. I do like to see it from an analytical standpoint, and it's always great to hear the horror stories of the people that got crushed like a grape. But in the New York Post, they select 15 games to handicap for their handicappers, and they have a contest running, and they put their record in there to their credit. It's not like you're getting Brent Musburger's Bury America campaign, where wouldn't you like to know what Greg Peterson's record was for the baseball season?
Exactly.
And guess, Lubie, who their college basketball handicapper is? Greg Peterson.
Oh, no.
featured
That's
in
cool.
the New York Post and several other publications, I would imagine, many around the country, because somehow they've syndicated this Vegas Sports Information stuff, Vegas Sports Information Network. It's VSIN. And the guys write great stuff. I mean, their statistical analysis seems to be, with some foundation in mathematical truth, if there is such a thing, and yet burial every single time. I mean, that guy killed us. Well, he helped us in the baseball season because we were going against him every night. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to track how he does on college basketball. But what I hate when people are handicapping, put the guy's record up there. Well, what the hell is the record against the spread? That's what we want to know. And they do that in the New York Post. And to show you how difficult it is, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys handicapping in the Post. And this is for college football. Of those, only one is above 500 at 78 and 70.
Of course.
7 guys that followed us closely. I mean, this isn't like you and me just picking names out of a hat here. I mean, you like what? FSU laying or getting 2.5 in that game. Do you not, Mike Lubitz? Why wouldn't you take the 2 and a hook at Doak Campbell Stadium with the ghost of Bobby Bowden? Here, the Hurricanes on a roll. Now, if anything would lead you to believe that the Florida State Seminoles were live in this game, it's that the Hurricanes appear to have righted the ship. Do you see any of the Manny Diaz must go material being posted anywhere here in South Florida? None, right? 0.
Nope.
So, I mean, he seems to have gotten a pass by winning 3 straight games, including one over a very good Pittsburgh team with our friend Charlie Partridge coaching a dynamite defensive line.
Yep.
And they handled them pretty well. And Pittsburgh came right back. I don't know if that was a patsy they beat last week, but they clobbered somebody 52-3 in the ensuing game. So that was no small accomplishment by Manny Diaz and the University of Miami. And then even though they were staggering around there against Georgia Tech, like the aforementioned Jerry Cooney, who put up a pretty brave fight against Larry Holmes the first time that they met, which that was a big, big occasion. Everybody was thinking he was the latest of the great white hopes, Jerry Cooney, if you guys aren't boxing fans. And there had been any number of them. Tommy the Duke Morrison, who made it bigger in movies than he did actually in the ring, although he did knock out a lot of stiffs on his way to getting that platform where he was the latest of the great white hopes. And, of course, my favorite of all time, as referenced in the movie Rounders by John Turturro, playing the character Kanish. And Matt Damon comes in after taking a beating from the cops after Ed Norton had cheated in a poker game, and Damon was going to cruise and get all the money they needed, except this guy couldn't resist, typical degenerate gambler. He couldn't resist the opportunity to cheat. Are you listening, Urban Meyer? Couldn't resist. Why did I throw Urban under the bus?
Of course
because it comes up in the context of this conversation we're about to have about UM and FSU, but somehow I got back into the ring there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, just absolutely cursed. What was, the University of Miami with what was happening at the beginning of the season. And here they are facing a Florida State team that is very undistinguished, you would have to say, Mike Lubitz. That surprised everybody.
Carolina.
North Carolina?
Yes, they beat North Carolina pretty soundly. They were up by double digits most of the game.
Their other wins are over UMass and DeVry University so far this year.
Well, you're Syracuse. You're Syracuse and UMass.
Oh, yeah, that's an ugly one. That hurts. But see, I don't care about Syracuse football anymore. That whole thing flew the coop when Ben Schwartzwalder realized, what? You can throw the ball? My God. The series of 44s there ran into a brick wall when they gave number 44 to a guy named Roger Pretorius. They had never given it to a quarterback. It was always the running back, right? I mean, you go all the way back, right? Jim Brown, Jim Nance, Ernie Davis, Floyd Little, the Zonk. I mean, this was a tremendous legacy. And who did they give it to in 1969 after Zonk left the campus there at 44 with the 44 number? A guy named Roger Pretorius, who couldn't throw the ball downfield, and Ben Schwartzwalder, who was still coaching at like 106. Incredible. You talk about hanging around a little bit too long. Hey, Ben, throw the ball. 4th and 22 from the shadow of his own goal line, and he's handing the ball off up the middle there against Penn State. You got to be kidding me. Who have like 11 linebackers in the game because that's all they had at Penn State at the time was linebackers, one after another. Incredible. Anyway, this rivalry between UM and FSU, 15 guys handicapping in the New York Post. And the game's not even 15 games they're picking in the Post. 7 guys are picking them. the game's not even one of the games that they're asked to select. I mean, how far is this dynamic falling apart? Where UMFSU was like the 3:30 game, maybe even a night game on ABC.
Yes.
The networks were just clamoring for this game, trying to knock each other out. They couldn't throw enough money at the two schools there in the NCAA. Mark Emmert was just standing there with like a saddlebag and a wheelbarrow. Yeah, put the money right in there. No, don't let me touch it. Nobody saw me touch any cash. Okay, Mark. ABC gets the game. Hey, what a surprise. They're yeah, I mean, then you see Mark Emmert. He wasn't the guy at the NCAA at the time, but whoever was the head of the NCAA is walking out of the restaurant with Roone Arledge holding hands.
Exactly.
Like, what? How did ABC get that game?
Exactly.
But people clamored for that game, and now I don't know, when are they playing it? At noon?
No, it's
Is
true.
it
I
on
think
TV?
it's 3:30. I think it is 3:30 because FSU had a little streak there. The Canes have now won 3 in a row, so it felt a little bit better until FSU's now lost the last 2.
All right. Well, I know where Hialeah's heart is. Hialeah Park.
Exactly.
The people there are huge backers, man. Donate a lot of money to the school. The Brunetti's very generous, and they have all kinds of great programs going with the University of Miami. So I'm with Miami. I know you have to root for FSU in this ballgame. You're not really a fan, Mike Lubitz, so you pretend to be because you're afraid to be unliked by the people here in the South Florida audience. But now that we're all over the world on Ion Channel, does it really matter? People don't even understand what that allegiance was all about because it's been 20 years. People that were born in the year 2000 have no idea that this was ever an illustrious series.
Nope.
And and it does have obviously the local flavor to it. I mean, we were talking with Tony about it yesterday. He's right about that. That was a big thing back in the day when the two teams were powerhouse units in college football. And this game, one of my favorite of all time cliches. I mean, you talk about overworked, although it doesn't happen as much anymore. You don't hear this. What would it be? Is it a colloquialism where, people always say, well, this is a game that has national championship implications.
Cliche. Yep.
People don't say that anymore. And even about the championship game, it doesn't have national championship implications because it is going to decide the national championship. But that was the thing back when they voted on it, and it was very influential in that category. And, of course, at that time, before the Florida Gators chickened out of the series with the University of Miami.
Exactly.
How's my bird on video?
It's wonderful.
Feathers are coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, God.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Is there any other way to put it? The Gators just didn't want to play the Hurricanes anymore because they were good. They were beating them, and they used the mamby-pamby excuse. I mean, just a wuss of an excuse. And said, oh, well, we play all those games in the SEC, and you guys don't. Meanwhile, Miami's playing like every heavyweight that they can line up. They're playing Michigan, Oklahoma, Nebraska. I mean, these were good teams at the time.
Yep.
And these crybaby Gators, I mean, right up there with the Gator flop in terms of, reasons to think that the Gators are more than a modern-day disgrace. I shouldn't say these things because we do have a lot of Gator fans out there. I have softened my approach on the Gators. I don't harbor, and this is the problem, right? And you talk about it now too, Lubie. You realize that I was right about this. The very absolute worst thing that can happen in any aspect of life is indifference.
Yep.
When you don't care anymore, and what is the point? If I didn't care about doing this, then what's the point of getting up in the morning and actually taking a shower?
It's what Tony talked about yesterday. And our fans down here about all of our teams.
We lead the league in
Yeah,
we do. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on down here in South Florida anymore. And at least at that time when we had a couple of things working that had some mojo to them, like the Dolphins were good and they were on the precipice of maybe breaking through, winning a championship. You always had a shot when you had Danny Boy throwing the rock for you. You always had a chance. And they would get him receivers that he had a lot of cohesion with. Duper, Clayton, O.J. McDuffie. I mean, Jim Jensen crashed as a bailout. That was fantastic. He could throw the ball out of the backfield to various people who could make something happen once they got their hands on the rock. Tight ends were okay during that period of time. I don't know. Did they have anybody that was exceptional at that position?
Jackson was solid.
Yeah, but he was kind of, already had played out the good days of his career in Philadelphia. But, I mean, of course, because you had Marino throwing a rock. You didn't have some schmink. And this is, part of the whole thing about dreamers in sports. I was reading something about Scott Boras, I guess, the agent in baseball, had his State of the Union address yesterday. And he represents everybody, right? And everybody that he represents is making like $300 million at a minimum. In fact, if you were just a regular $120 million 4-year player, Boris doesn't even answer your calls. He could care less. He got J.D. Drew like $100 and some odd million when the guy had hit 170 the previous season and was about to do the same for the next 5 years. J.D. Drew, the former Seminole great.
There you go.
So I don't know what it is. And general managers and owners, they just cave. They cry about the money, but they just cave in front of Boris for some reason. No matter what he's peddling, he could be peddling any dreck. And sure enough, I mean, somebody was going to come up and offer him like just a whopper of a deal. So I love this. It's under the woman what woman theory, where, as we said many times, you're caught dead to right in bed. Dead to rights in bed with another woman. Your wife walks in on you, your girlfriend. She says, "Who's she? Who is this woman?" And you look at her in stunned disbelief and go, "Woman? What woman? I don't see anything." This was very popular during the Trump administration also, not to get into any kind of political turmoil here on the program, but this is just my personal belief that, there was some BS being slung, no? And so, and denial was the thing, right? There's a riot going on at the Capitol building, and they're saying, "Hey, Donald, what do you have to say about that? What? Well, what's going on?" It's Veterans Day. Let's honor our veterans. Yes, let's do that also, Mike Lubitz, for sure. But anyway, so Boris is talking about Michael Conforto of the New York Mets. Michael Conforto, who had just a god-awful season this past year. Right? Conforto hit like 230, had 14 homers and like 50 RBIs. He missed a quarter of the year with injuries. And Boris just looks right past that and says, he's worth every bit as much as he was before. He had this horrible year, which how do you know that that's not where he's at right now? What if this is as good as it gets, people? Imagine you're going to shell out like $150 million for this guy, like he was Mookie Betts or something. And he just came off a year where he hit 230. That used to be a disaster for any impending free agents, where they just had a horrible year the year before they became a free agent. You're always hoping it goes the other way, much like we are here as we became free agents. Hoping there's an upside to this, which I believe there is. All right, we're going to have the Paulie man join us here, and that's going to be via telephone. So we're going to have to go with an unconventional way of conducting some form of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Now, if you missed it last week, you'll want to definitely tune in next week when we get back to our regular thing here, because we were just building on something brilliant and then came into a roadblock, right? All of a sudden, we got hit with a little bit of a haymaker, right in the side of the head there. You know, where the ear, you lose your balance. All of a sudden, you're wandering around like Deontay Wilder was in that second fight with Tyson Fury. Pretty good matchup, those two guys, though, you would have to say, as unconventional as both of them are, right? As Wilder, with that crazy style of his, still, he hits you one time. There's a pretty good chance you're on the deck. And how does Tyson Fury have a chin and recuperative powers like that? Not even Superman had that. Right? I mean, the guy's out cold. And he just gets up and starts wailing away, coming right back like he was Arturo Gatti. Incredible. All right, UMFSU, what's your pick there, Lubie, before we get into the Paulie man here on the show?
Because it's FSU at home, I think Jordan Travis is going to play, and Miami's defense isn't really good. The Van Dyke kids played well. I think FSU will win a close game because they are at home.
All right. I'm going to go with the University of Miami in this one. I think they have shown to be the better team, Mike.
Well, they're tougher. I'll give them credit. These close games, a lot of Canes fans aren't happy that these games have gone down to the wire, but you know what? In the past, they would have lost them. So that's something to be said for gutting these games out. Van Dyke is young, and he's looked really good. And he's looked as good as any quarterback they've had in a long time.
And I'm going to give Manny Diaz the benefit of the doubt there, right? Did I say Manny Diaz?
You said it. That's the coach of
very
Manny
good.
Diaz has sort of earned that the last few games. He's found a way to win games.
Oh no, the hair. I mean, he's got the Teddy Bruschi
the hair.
The hair. I'm going on hair. This is going to be. I don't know. Mike Norvell looks like a fairly straight-laced guy, does he not? He looks like he could be selling insurance.
Yes.
Selling you, lifetime, additional warranties on an automobile or something. Would you like the extra warranty? We can give that to you for an extra $400 a month. Okay, great. Extended warranty. Doesn't he look like he could be doing that, right? At some car
100%.
dealership outside of Tallahassee there?
100%.
Tallahatchie Ford? That'd be great. All right, so I'm going with the Hurricanes. I think they're playing better ball right now. I haven't seen much of FSU. They did get that nice win over North Carolina, and then I think they took on UMass in our next game, which
Yes, I counted them.
is not exactly what you consider to be an arduous test of where you're at. All right, the Polyman coming up next, and it'll be our own version of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge today. Bear with us on that, guys. And we will pose some trivia questions for you. And Lubie has dug up a landlubber's gift certificate, which if you're outside of, say, Broward and Dade County, maybe Palm Beach, probably isn't worth much to you, but you do have the distinction of winning the game, like if you're calling us from Cleveland. So we'll give out the number and a set of questions coming up here with the Polyman. But we want to shoot the breeze with the Polyman coming up next here on the show. Destination Sport Miami, proud title sponsor here on the program, the Defo and Lubie show here, the Defo show with Mike Lubitz. And here on Ion Channel, and we really appreciate these guys. We love the guys that just stayed with us, first of all. Mike Lubitz, I mean, there's a lot to be said for that kind of loyalty. Hialeah Park, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, the people at Gulfstream, Deal Volkswagen, all of these fine people, backing you, and it makes you feel good about what you're doing, what you're attempting to do. That's for sure. Destination Sport Miami, they were on board with us, and they're not even open yet, which is great, but they are open to all kinds of feedback from people, and you can get involved, and they have many things going on. So check out the website, destinationsportmiami.com, and you'll see what is, I think this is a fair statement, the most ambitious project on the sporting scene that we have ever seen here, and that's saying a lot. I mean, I'm talking about, look, Joe Robbie went out there and took a shot building the stadium. And, a great financial risk. And I think it was very debilitating financially. They did not make out like the champs they probably should have for their ownership of the Miami Dolphins, because all of a sudden, what do you mean I got to pay the note? Not sure where Joe got the money from. I think he had plenty on his own. But what was that? It was like $104 million back then to build a stadium. Can you imagine, Lubie?
That's crazy.
That was a giant number at the time. But now it's going to cost you like what? What did that guy pay for the place in Los Angeles?
Billion.
The guy that owns the Rams.
Over $1 billion. I think he paid over $1 billion.
I think it had to be a couple, right? Jerry spent a lot of money, but Jerry's making a lot of money. Jerry Jones, of course. But nonetheless, I mean, it was a big undertaking, and everybody thought it'll never get done. And this is even bigger, I think, than that, or any of the arenas that we built here in town, all the different things that have happened. And wow, I mean, so proud to represent Destination Sport Miami. Going to be the largest indoor, multifaceted sports facility in North America, with an expert team of people guiding all of their programs that make you believe, and you'll see this is going to be the most beneficial thing that any team, any athlete, whether it's an elite athlete, somebody that's just trying to get into the game, see what their potential is, you're going to have this in all sports: football, basketball, hockey, soccer, baseball, even e-games.
Yes,
you
sir.
can go there and become an expert in and just enjoy yourself. So it's going to be a great place for families, a great place for teams, youth teams, professional teams. People will be coming in from all over the world to train there at Destination Sport Miami. Check it out at destinationsportmiami.com. All right, the Polyman going to visit with us next here on the Defo Show on Ion Channel. Mike Lubitz, looking better. What'd you do, man? You got yourself a new light?
I have a new light, yes. I've had a light I wanted to test out, and you kept calling me pale. So I was like, all right, I guess it's time to change the light.
Oh, you really looked like you had contracted some kind of weird parasite-like disease on your flight back from Europe. How was the food on the plane, by the way, Lubie? Did they feed you anything? Or
yeah,
was it all a la carte there?
That was good.
We flew Allegiant Airlines, where you had to give them like a quit claim deed on your house to get a soda. But the flight was only $28. But if you wanted something to drink, I mean, and they made sure you were parched, like waiting for the plane there. Just...
Oh, my God.
All right, we're coming back with more. The Polyman going to join us. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We'll pose some kind of trivia challenge here. And don't forget, then next week, we'll do the version where all you guys can line up on the phone lines and get involved in the show. And we'll be back in the studios there of Ion Channel. And I think we're going to do a little experiment tomorrow, Mike Lubitz. At least I believe that's going to take place with the Degenerate Friday show, which will be very exciting because I feel like I'm interviewing Jersey Kyle over the phone there. It doesn't work. The spontaneity isn't what it was when we were out there at the track together, realizing how lucky we were to be getting paid to go out there and watch horses work out in the morning and crack a few jokes. All right, coming back with more in a moment. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz. Now that.
The time.
On the East Coast here in the United States of America, it is 7:29.
It's the Gambling Gourmet for Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale. One of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half Sally. They are given the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes, because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat, 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy, with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Are we all in stable but critical condition? Is that the way all life is, Lubie? In a general, more figurative sense? Would you say you're in stable but critical condition? I believe you are right now.
Probably.
On the threshold of getting married in the early portion of 2021. Don't you think it's a little soon, kid? You barely notice woman. What are you doing?
We've been together 4 years.
Well, I guess you know enough.
How long do you want her to put up with me?
Is it you that's pushing for this?
It's equal. We're both very happy and in love. It's very gross.
Oh, my God. All right. It's a foreign concept. You have to understand where I'm coming from. 0 for 2 with a walk. And, right now I think I got a 3-2 count in the marriage number 3. But, and only because of the benefit of a really poor call on a ball that was clearly right down the middle of the plate. You know, one of those Angel Hernandez calls. Get out of here.
Enjoy your trip to work with lots of laughs thanks to Defo and Lubie. Now on the Defo Show.
Not sure if this is a byproduct of old age or a sign that maybe the old Chuck Noll thing, right? Hey, Chucky, the game has passed you by. But we were kind of scattered there in that first segment. And yet the comment column here, which I have on the side of my screen, it keeps getting better and better. Would you agree, Mike Lubie Lubitz?
Yes,
More
sir.
people participating here, including, I think, a new entrant, a gentleman who goes by the moniker Dante Viper Brandolini, the Viper. And he's had some caustic comments, and we appreciate the kind words. He's asking me also if I remember some nutbag that used to call when I was on a 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. shift on 790. And they asked me to fill in some really ugly hours. And I thought, well, you know what? Where can you have a job where you're done at 7 in the morning and you only work 2 hours? And, it takes me 2 hours to say my name, right?
Exactly.
We never did get to any of the things that I had written down on the agenda on the sheet here today because we immediately digressed into something else and stayed there and then went back and forth between boxing and the UM-FSU rivalry. Would you say something about Sonny Hirsch already? But anyway, he's asking me if I remember Michael from Palm Beach calling into the show. I do remember many nutcases. Let's face it, 5 a.m. It's not like you're getting the salt of the universe calling in, right? Most of those guys are out cold counting their money that is in various Swiss banks. Whereas the people that were calling those sports talk shows at that time especially tended to be a little bit crazy. It was fun, though, Mike Lubitz. So you could throw open a microphone and just go, UMFSU.
Boom.
And just start punching them up. Manny from Miramar, you're on the air. You know what? The Seminoles suck. All right, it's a Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Now, last week we had a big step forward with the program. Unfortunately, we had to put that on hold this week. A previous commitment by the people on Ion Channel, they told me they were going to be making a substantial amount of money today, which I can't blame them, for bouncing us out of the studio there. And now we were going to attempt to do some kind of, it wouldn't have taken technical wizardry to do this. I thought it was going to happen, Mike Lubitz. Did you not?
Yes.
Where we'd get the boys in various boxes on the screen here. We'd superimpose Hialeah Park on our own. It just shows you how this industry has changed. You used to have to own a television station to do this kind of stuff. Here we are, in our slippers and bathrobe, putting together a morning show. But this guy would be a natural on this. So I can't wait for next week now when we get back into this studio setup that we had, which was great for the show. And it allowed us to do the thing in its full formatic splendor. But join right now, and it shows you how scattered I was. I thought the Paulie man was coming on next. It's Dave Gergely, our longtime partner on the show, 25 years with Dave Gergely. And, of course, he is also at Shula's all the time there, working a golf course, and has this whole thing with Beat the Broadcaster, which is kind of interesting. Dave, whatever gave you that idea? We welcome Dave Gergely to the program here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Gergs, how are you, my friend?
Wonderful. First of all, I heard you talking to Lubie about marriage, and I pulled up a quote for him that he might be interested in, like this one from Clint Eastwood. Marriages are made in heaven, but so again are thunder and lightning. So keep that in mind.
Lubie, I don't know how he's doing this. I mean, he's surviving things. If I went around, and I have a European tour booked there with the Mustang coming up in May, and you know what? You have a better chance of getting along at the end of the amazing race if you got knocked out in the third round. Because there's just no way. I mean, he comes back happy, Gergs. It's amazing. You've been flying solo and fighting unattached your whole life, so that's to be respected, my friend.
Extremely happy. And I think this one applies to you in the Mustang. Before we got married, I caught her in my arms. Now I catch her in my pockets. So
I have noticed certain shortages at the bank. Yeah. And don't marry a slot player. Don't marry a slot. Yeah. Sorry about that, Dave. I was walking all over you there.
24 years ago, Coach Shula was running a tournament out here to benefit breast cancer research because of the passing of his first lovely wife, Dorothy. And I had just started on the radio with you guys, and I said, hey, Coach, I got an idea. I'll go on one of these holes, hit some shots, and have people try and beat my shot and raise money for breast cancer research. And Coach was playing, like you like to say, always with his rigged foursome with Dick Anderson, Dan Marino, and somebody else. And he beat my shot, and obviously instead of a gift card to Shula's Steakhouse, he opted for the movie tickets, and he was happier than when he won, I think, his first Super Bowl.
Yeah, never mind the 72 team, man. I just beat Dave Gergely on a par 3, 108 yards. Is that little hole over the lake that's so annoying? You take out a sandwich?
Exactly, number 5. And you'd be proud of me because in-house here at Shula's Hotel are about 50 Baltimore Ravens fans, and last night I was back in my old haunt, Shula's Steak 2, doing all kinds of Baltimore sports trivia questions.
Oh, very nice. I mean, and I'm hoping you're going to throw a set at the fans here. Yes.
Here's one for you.
Okay.
When the Baltimore Bullets acquired Elvin Hayes, who did they trade to the Houston Rockets?
Good question. Who did they? Wes Unseld. Who's that?
Think birthmark on his shoulder.
Yeah, you got me. I can picture the guy, and I can't. The name's not coming.
Jack Marin, the left-hander.
Oh, Jack Marin. I would have never gotten that.
No way.
Because I thought that Jack Marin was the guy that was running Ion Channel for the first couple of weeks that we were working here, but it's Jack Namer. No, that's true. I kept referring to him as Jack Marin. Now, did Marin become a politician? Didn't he become a politician or something? Jack Marin? Did he go on to a career in politics?
I think he did. And here's another one for you. When Coach Shula left the Colts to coach the Dolphins in 1970, Don McCaffrey then led the Colts to the Super Bowl. But the first time Coach Shula played the Colts, true or false, he beat them and Don McCaffrey 37-0. True or false?
I'm going to say true on that.
No, it's false. The Colts beat him 37-0.
He didn't feel so good about making that move there. There was a lot of mystery surrounding that whole thing, too, that whole Shula deal coming from the Colts. And very, very interesting transaction all the way around. All right, Dave, what do you have going for Thanksgiving? I mean, are you doing anything special? Do they have a big deal going at Shula's?
Well, we'll be working here, and obviously the Friday after Thanksgiving, Jeff, is the busiest day of the year on any golf course.
I could see that. Yeah.
Logic, without sounding sexist, the women go shopping, the guys go play golf. So we'll be hopping out here. And Thanksgiving itself, I remember maybe 30 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I decided to leave Florida and surprise my mother, rest in peace, like yours too, for Thanksgiving. So instead of flying up the day before Thanksgiving when everybody goes to the airports and it's crowded, I'm smarter than everybody. I'm going to fly Thanksgiving morning. So I get there's no traffic whatsoever. I get to Fort Lauderdale Airport, and guess what? There's no parking. Everybody got there the day before. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they shut it down. Yeah. That's a polyman theory, though. The best day to go out and pick up women, if you're single and you want to go run around in the bars there and see if you can get some phone numbers or whatever, is Valentine's Day. Because any women that are out on their own, I mean, obviously are fighting unattached like you are.
Right. Or Christmas Eve was another one.
Yes. Always a good time to go out.
I remember going to a bar on Christmas Eve, and I saw this girl with long, flowing hair. I tapped her on the shoulder, and it was a guy dressed like Santa Claus. So I'll stay home on those days. But Paulie and I are both looking forward to reuniting at Hialeah with you and Mike.
Yes. Well, and this new system that we have is it's tailor-made for you, Dave Gergely. If anybody was going to enjoy this whole green screening experience that we had last week, where we were actually able to play the game too, and we figured it out on the fly, it's going to be you. The Polyman, we had to kind of resuscitate him on the set there. We were given, what is that, CPR? Because he seemed like he was going to pass out, and I dished him off one, I mean, we're waiting for like a nice 15-minute Polyman soliloquy on some experience he had at Aqueduct as a kid. And he looks at me on the set there, live on TV and on the audio and video stream and says, "You're right, Deef." I'm like, "You're right, Deef? What are you talking about?" I'm like grabbing a cup of coffee there on the side, thinking, here you go. I mean, here's the handoff, my friend. Run the ball. But anyway, he's going to be joining us shortly. All right, we want to challenge our people here, Dave Gergely, and get a set of questions in. So maybe, I don't know, should we go to, you gave us a true false. Those were great. Can you give us a 5-point question that we can ask people to answer?
How about the bonus question?
There you go. Championship question.
Right. What is Rick Solt's claim to fame? Rick Solt claimed, and it's a football claim to fame. What is Rick Solt's football claim to fame? A, he is the pick that the Colts got when Don Shula left to go to coach the Dolphins. B, he was the quarterback set to fill in instead of Tom Matte in one of their championship games. C, he was the leader of the Colts marching band, which is only one of 2 marching bands in all the NFL. Or D, he is the pick the Colts got in their trade with Denver for John Elway.
Wow. Those are great choices, by the way. I would tend to throw out the band leader one, so that's probably it. All right, we're going to put that out there for our people. And you can give Lubie a call at 954-417-0700. 954-417-0700. I don't know if you can put the number up there on the screen, Lubie, but that would be great. And if you want to take a shot at that, Rick Salt, what is his claim to fame in Colts history? Is he the guy that the Colts got in a draft pick that they received for Don Shula when he came to coach the Dolphins as compensation? Was the quarterback sent out to fill in before Tom Matte?
He was behind Tom Matte, yep.
Yep, okay. Was he the leader of the legendary Baltimore Colts marching band? Or was he the pick that the Colts got when they traded John Elway? And Elway went to the Denver Broncos because he wasn't going to play for the Colts. Interesting question. Gergels, we'll throw that out there. Lubie, the phone number, 954-417-0700 if you want to answer that one, as we have a little bit of a hybrid version of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, and the person that answers correctly will end up getting a Landlubbers gift certificate. We'll have to have a drawing for that between the person that answers Dave's question and whoever answers correctly, the one that will be posed by the Paulie man, as we manufactured a way to play the game. How about that, Gergels? What do you think?
All right. I like it. It's much better when the three of us can get together. I'll text Lubie the correct answer.
Nice.
Okay, very good. Very good. It's probably the mark.
All right, Jeff.
Think about it. Dave Gergels, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to shine on the green screen superimposition there over Hialeah Park next week, Lubie. I'm very excited about it. Gergel's performance on this program, because he was made for this, right? We tried this a while back. Frankie Fiore, always the innovator at Hialeah Park. And we tried this a while back with a Facebook Live rendition of the program. And the Paulie man was also a little bit gun-shy about doing that. How do we look? Which he looks fine, right? I mean, the guy looks like Dennis Farina, the actor.
Yes.
Ricardo Montalban had nothing on the Paulie man. Who? What? I think they were both born in the same year, now that you mention it. That could be the problem. Although, I don't know. It's starting to afflict me as well. All right, we're coming back with the Paulie man, Paul Massell. We have the question out there posed. You can call Lubie at 954-417-0700. But may have to put that on hold or answer on our chat stream here that we have going on Ion Channel. Had many people, including our good friend Andy Tibb. He knew that Jack Marin was the answer. Was the mole the giveaway? That really was the mole? It's Sidney Crawford, right? I mean, she has a little mole, but I don't know. Is that the main feature? I don't think so. Other women have, been famous for having some kind of mole there, right? Does Angelina Jolie have one?
I don't think so.
Julie Roberts, who the hell has a mole? All right, we're coming back with more. Who's the mole?
Exactly.
We're coming back with more. The Paulie man going to join us and another set of questions here, and then we'll have some kind of spin-off to see who wins the Landlubbers gift certificate from the people that answer. And as I said, you can also answer on our chat line here on Ion Channel. A lot of people participating in that, and we really do appreciate it. This Dante Viper Brandolini, very, very highly complimentary and a great historian of my career, which, I mean, that's quite a flattering thing, right? That somebody knows that much about what you've done. You were a turkey the whole time, right? Speaking of Thanksgiving. Three Fools on Stools. That's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Don't forget to make your plans to be at Hialeah Park. Just an absolutely amazing place. We love it there. You'll love it there. And I can't say enough good things about all of my experiences at Hialeah Park, both in the distant past, a young Defo running around there with a vodka grapefruit, sitting on one of those ledges on the backside, waiting for the horses to get out there on the track, eyeballing all the talent. or in the modern day with the casino, with the machines buzzing and everything's going great. Just absolutely fantastic at Hialeah Park, the way they operate everything. Big plans coming up for boxing. Check out the website, hialeahpark.com. We love the Champion Simulcasting Room, open Thursday through Sunday. Poker Room, top notch, really run as if you were at the Rio for the World Series of Poker. And, of course, as we mentioned, the food and drink there, just absolutely fantastic and not at ballpark prices. And you can enjoy that in a casino and just about anywhere on the grounds at beautiful Hialeah Park. All right, we're coming back with more of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He is Mike Lubitz. Back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
7:49. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time? When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. My favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for a lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1 mile and an 8. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switched the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. I want to once again, everybody, Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge underway. Gurgles has left us with a question. I don't know if anybody answered over the phone. We're looking for somebody to come up with the answer on the chat line here that we have going on Ion Channel, and happy to be with you with kind of a hybrid edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge today. Later on the program, we will have Gene Deckeroff on the show, the great Gene Deckeroff, voice of the Seminoles and also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and just a great gentleman as well, very distinguished. I don't know, was he one of the inductees into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame? They had the ceremonies last night.
I think so.
Gene Deckeroff. He's probably already in there, man. He's
Nice,
in like
yeah.
every Hall of Fame. Yeah. I mean, a Lifetime Achievement Award, that kind of thing. I mean, great guy. Going to join us later on UM. And he will remember every detail going back to like 1938 of the rivalry, which, is tremendous and total recall of all of this stuff, even though he's called a zillion games. Gene Deckeroff later on the program here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We do have the Paulie Man with us, and Gurgles has a question out there. Andy has offered up an answer here, which would eliminate one of the choices if incorrect. Did Gurgles give you the right answer? Mike Lubitz?
I'm going to put it in the chat to you right now. I'm going to put it in your chat right now.
Okay, very good. And Andy says of the choices, Rick Salt, what was his role with the and distinction as a member of the Baltimore Colts? Did they get Rick Salt in exchange as part of that deal for Don Shula? They got draft picks. Did they draft Rick Salt? Was he a quarterback sent in to fill in for Tom Manny? Was that the second choice there? And that's what Andy ventures is the correct answer, which turns out to be incorrect, which only leaves three choices now. So we eliminate that one. Was he a leader of the marching band that the Baltimore Colts featured? One of two marching bands. Remember they used to have like marching bands go out there at halftime?
Yes.
How crazy was that? Then they went kind of into a little bit of a sexier mode, right? And that was great. The Dolphins were innovators there. They would have those Brazilian girls with the feathers dressed as peacocks running out there on the field with pasties on. And wow, I mean, it was appalling to some of the people here. Some of those principled sorts that go to football games and then get just absolutely blind drunk while they're at the game on $12 beers, and are complaining that this was in poor taste. Incredible. And the last choices was he the guy that the Denver Broncos got with the draft pick when they traded when the Colts traded John Elway because he wasn't going to play for the Colts. And so they had to trade him. Otherwise, he was going to go play baseball somewhere, supposedly. Going to pull a Danny Ainge. And what was he, that guy, that Rick Salt, in exchange for John Elway? We welcome to the show the Paulie Man, Paul Massell. Paulie Man, this has to be a special holiday for you. I know it's Veterans Day, and you're very respectful of those who have served. How are you, by the way, Paulie Man? You all right?
Good, very good. Yep.
Oh, good to good to have you with us here on the program. Now, don't you think? And this is true. We're going to do this next week, so I hope you're ready for it, Paulie Man. And you know how to find a place now, Ion Channel. So because it wasn't like you were Magellan in the dark there. I mean, if Columbus had you
Wow, that was
out
tough.
there on the Nina, wow, he would have beached somewhere in South Africa, right? So anyway, good to have you here on the program. But do you not believe, after being and going through the experience at the studio last week with what will be the long-time version of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, the future of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, do you not believe that Gurgles is perfectly suited for this sort of thing?
Absolutely, super perfect. I mean, he just loves the setup. He's the greatest guy on earth, and he's got that little bit of ham in him, though. So
yes,
this fits Gurgles to a T.
I think he believes, in his subconscious somewhere that, he was jobbed by Wink Martindale or something, and he should have been one of the leading quiz show hosts of all time, a game show host, and he probably should have, right? I mean, this guy is, a perfect candidate, would have been a perfect candidate to host Jeopardy, but they bypassed him again.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so he would have been great. Paulie Man, how'd you make out on the Breeders' Cup? Did you have that Japanese invader, Marsh Lorraine? And don't you dig it when something like that happens? Because if you were getting destroyed like I was that day, it kind of justifies your position that, hey, nobody could hit this stuff. But how'd you make out? I mean, you're pretty good on these kind of days.
First, I want to talk about my pick in the Classic. Was a great pick. Max Player didn't beat a horse. Finished absolutely.
You're on top of your game there.
Absolutely dead last. but I had a few good ones. A guy who really follows the European circuit and everything gave me like a 45-minute story about Go Bears Go on Friday, and finished a real good second at a 12 or 14 to 1 coming on. And then a horse, I got the West Coast bias. I'm anti-West Coast and everything, in sports and horses, Bob Baffert, you name it. But one of the most impressive things I saw a few weeks ago was that horse Dr. Shivel, a super sprinter that broke out of the rail out west. And I never saw this before. I don't think anyone ever saw it. Forced to rush to the lead from the inside post. The right reins broke loose. Scary. And Flavian Pratt, you saw his right arm go up in the air. And next thing you know, it almost looked like those old westerns where the stagecoaches run away and the cowboy hero jumps down. But the horse brushed the rail. It could have been a big tragedy. And yet, holding the reins together and holding the horse together, the horse went on to gallop in 109 and change. So I thought he was... you had to take a stand against Jackie's Warrior, but I thought with the outside post could come off the pace, right off the pace, and he did, and then got ran down by another cutie who I had my eye on, Aloha West, and that exacta came back $99. But that Dr. Shivel is outstanding sprinter.
What do you think about the controversy there, too? Because for the uninitiated, there was a horse in the Breeders' Cup, one of the races that was scratched. This was on the Friday card, and it was mistakenly scratched. The horse had kind of gently broken through the gate, nothing that would make you believe that the vet was going to take him out of the race unless something just undetected happened. Now, meanwhile, the horse in the gate next to the one ball there in that race, the two freaks out, gets trapped under the gate, and naturally has to be scratched. I don't know how they made that mistake and scratched the one, or whose idea that was, but then they couldn't put it back in the betting pool. And, of course, the horse wins the race, and it was the Argentine Tango thing all over again. I don't know if you were involved in any of that, man, but you would think in 2021, and this was one of the points that was being made on TVG, that in 2021, you would be able to find a way. Kurt Hoover was the guy. He was all over this. I like that guy. Great television hair also. And seems to be a pretty sound, knowledgeable horse guy. And on the side of the better, and I think he also owns horses. He's hit some big pick sixes, so he has a lot of credibility out there in California. But he was baffled by the idea that with the modern technology that we have, how could you not be able to reinsert that horse back into the betting pool or do something that was more fair to the fans than to give them the stiff of a post-time favorite that ran and was received in horizontal wagers in his place?
Yeah, that was, what a fiasco that was. I thought at first that they mistakenly thought, since it was the 1 and the 2 actually drew the posts right next to one another. They were both Godolphin horses, both trained by Charlie Appleby. So I thought they mistakenly thought it was 1 and 1A, and one of those rules like that New York rule, when one gets hurt or scratches, in case the other one is a stiff, they don't want you to get stuck with that, and they run for purse money only. But because it was kind of odd, they were added a 1 and the 2. But I guess what happened was as you said, the 1 originally, the eventual winner, Modern Times or Modern something, it hit the back of the gate at first and set the 2 off, who got cast under the stall. The 2 went crazy. Seeing that whole thing, the assistant starter went around the front of the gate and opened the gate gently, and the horse gently walked out. Like he didn't bust through the gate. He didn't do anything. And I know the announcers kept saying, we have this horse a scratch. I don't know why they're not taking his saddle off. The jockey is still on him. And then, like you said, with pick 3s, pick 4s, pick whatever's, everything going on. And like you said, they ended up with a stiff with the 3 horse, and the 1 came motoring down the middle of the course and won so impressively. That was a disaster. What was the funniest thing? Did you hear the boos? You could hear the boos through the television audio.
All right, we're getting some funny audio here with a little bit of an echo. Had a little computer glitch, and then we kind of lost the sound. So we'll see if Lubie can
Are you there?
get this thing even out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then
I
you're
hear
on.
you just fine.
You're
Yeah.
on. Yes.
Getting a huge echo, though, Lubie. I don't know what. Oh, there you go. You got that figured out.
Yeah,
Paulie
you were
Man
on
still with us?
twice. It was magic. Yes, Paulie Man's here. That was
Paulie
interesting.
Man?
Yep,
You still
I'm
there,
here.
baby? Okay,
Yes.
very good. Yeah, that was horrendous. I mean, it goes down as one of the tough beats of all time. It's like all of a sudden, then 300,000 people had to cost them money, and it was kind of like the Robin Ventura thing that we always talk about. How many people really bet the over in that game, Paulie? I mean, how many people were betting over-unders in Major League Baseball that everybody you talked to said, oh, man, I had the over in that game. A baseball game. Come on. I mean, do you really go out of your way, Paulie Man, and go, yeah, you know what? I really like a lot of runs in the Rangers game against the White Sox tonight. I think I'm going to go with the over. Gotta be kidding me, man.
Boy.
Kind of crazy stuff. All right, there is a dead ringer that came out of the Breeders' Cup races, and the owner of Corniche, you know this guy, Peter Floor, I guess is his name, Speedway Stables. Peter Floor, did you see this guy? He was interviewed after the race because naturally there's a question there because Baffert's training the horse, and he's banned from, I think, still racing at Churchill Downs. So here's Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, and you're thinking, wow, going to be a natural favorite. I mean, he breezed in this race. Mike Smith taking the horse 50 wide. Yeah, I mean, and cruised home. So it looks like a surefire favorite for the Kentucky Derby. And what do you do with Baffert at that point? And should they have had the horse in somebody else's barn? So anyway, this guy gets interviewed, and you get a good look at him. And do you remember the actor who played the big shot on the yacht there? That was the big guy in the HBO series Luck, the ill-fated series Luck. That was brilliant. I mean, it was starting to get really, really brilliant with Dustin Hoffman and Nick Nolte and the themes. It was a degenerate's dream, this series. It was the degenerate version of Ray Donovan.
Mine look like Dennis Farina.
Exactly.
Farina was in it also, yeah. But Peter Floor looks exactly like that guy. I think his name is Michael Gambon, or Gambon. The actor who played the big shot there, that his best line in the thing was, of course I want a piece. You know, when Hoffman was talking about like bringing a casino to California. That was absolutely great. But Dead Ringer, would you say? Did you get a look at Peter Floor? Are you familiar with this guy?
I really didn't. No, really didn't. No.
All right. So that whole thing. Well, look at them both. Look at them both, Paulie, man. You'll swear I'm right. Either that or I'm losing my mind completely. All right. We had Gergels toss out a question. Nobody's gotten the right answer yet. I don't know. You want to venture a guess and we'll eliminate one of the choices here? You probably know this one, though. Rick Salt. Rick Salt. What was he? The guy that the Colts got for Shula? Was he a quarterback who was sent in to fill in for Tom Matty, or Matty's backup with the Colts? No, that one was eliminated already. Was he a leader of the marching band, or the guy that the Colts got in return for dealing John Elway and accommodating his wish not to play in Indianapolis? What do you think?
I don't have a clue. Really don't have a clue. I'm telling you.
Take a stab at it. I mean, look, you're on the clock here.
The 3 choices. Come on.
Yeah, 3 choices, Paulie, man. You have a third of a chance of getting it right no matter what you think. What do you think? Put the clock
I'll
on.
go with the Elway.
You're right. You get
I'll
the
go with
landlord's gift
Elway.
certificate. Yes, nice job. It had to be, the Shula thing probably was too long ago, and the band leader seemed absolutely ridiculous. That was one Gergels just threw in there as a joke. All right, we'll get you that landlubber's gift certificate, Paulie, man. All right, good to have you with us as always.
He says he has a question.
Oh, good. Yeah, fire one up because now we have to give the prize away to somebody legitimate here. One of our listeners on the show.
You can win it.
What do you have for us? This would be a championship question.
It's hoops. Jordan Poole, who's now starring with the Golden State Warriors, is best known for hitting a game-winning 3-point shot at the buzzer to send Michigan into the Sweet 16 back in 2018. It came against...
Ooh. Wow. 2018. All right, what are the choices, Paulie? Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee, Houston, Texas A&M, or Butler.
All right, you got me on that one. I would have no clue, but we'll offer that up for the people here. And just text Lubie the answer there so we don't have any conflict in the game here. Don't want lawsuits flying back and forth All of a sudden, it looks like we're trying to, accrue some of those Trump documents here. Hey, Donnie, did you do it? Always a pleasure, Paulie, man. Any thoughts on UM-FSU? Are you involved at all in that rivalry in any sense?
I don't know. I tell you what, UM has played some exciting games, getting some of the fan base happy again. I mean, real thrillers. And the young quarterback, I guess when he came in 3 weeks ago, the first half, he looked like he couldn't play in the kindergarten league. And then the second half of that game in the last few weeks, boy, oh boy, he's been pretty outstanding. So, I'm all in. I root for the Canes.
Yes, and of course, our people at Deal Volkswagen very close to the Canes program there, and we don't resent the FSU fans though, like we did.
No, not at all.
You don't have the same kind of feeling that you did for the Gator fans during the time when they were opening up a big mouth. And as a known enemy of the Gator Nation back in the day, there, I mean, that was a little rough. They used to bring me up on that Steve Spurrier show. Guys would call in and go, there's this guy, DeFlo, down in
I love it.
South Florida here, opening up a big mouth about the Bull Gators, You know what the Bull Gators? I would rather have the Russian mob chasing me with an issue than Bull Gators. All right. We've got the question out there. Louie's got it on the chat line. You can also call us, 954-417-0700. Paulie, man, always a pleasure, my friend. And we'll catch you over at the Magic City Casino. You're going to be out there today, or you got a day off today?
I got a day off today. Be back out there tomorrow.
All right. What about the highlight thing? Is that happening? What's going on with that?
Yeah, 6 days left, and now, as I told you last week, I think that the guys vying for the title, 2 have 58 wins and 1 has 57. So it couldn't be any closer than that. So we have 2 more weeks of this Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then the following Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. I think the 23rd is the last year. Then they come right back, a little break. They come right back in either January, February, with a bunch of players from Dania, I believe, are joining the roster. So it should be really good.
All right. Big Possum, one of our fans here that often participates on the chat line, says he had both a 1 and a 2 in the last race in the pick 4. Played it 4 times, and then both of them were out, and he's still not happy.
Wow.
Because he got that stiff post-time favorite instead. I mean, that was ugly. A consolation,
terrible.
At least, would have been nice.
That was terrible.
That's a joke.
It only paid like $40,000. What the heck was he going to do with that? 4 times, that's $160. You're out for life. I mean, please. Every degenerate wager you've ever made that was of a losing variety would be atoned for, right? In one move. It's kind of, it's kind of like a Yom Kippur for degeneracy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We love you, Paulie, man. Thanks so much for being with us here on the show.
Thanks, guys.
You are, Paulie, man. Thanks.
All right, that's great. Paulie, man, could use a visit to Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. What do you think, Lubie?
Yeah, it feels like he needs
back down there. Yeah, this
Yeah, it
Johnny
feels like he
Jimmy.
needs it.
He keeps teasing us with the idea we're going to be down there, and Jack Namer from Ion Channel says, yeah, we're in, man. We're going down there. Production trucks and lights and all kinds of crazy stuff, makeup people. I mean, whatever we need to look good out there. And who's always going to be looking good? Jimmy Johnson. And the grounds there and the food there and the treatment that you get there as a guest is just absolutely fantastic. Even if you just dropped in from the overseas highway at mile marker 104 and turned in there and said, what's this? Jimmy Johnson got a place? Unbelievable, man. You're going to love it on the bay side there. Just absolutely beautiful. The way they developed the grounds was fantastic. They have accommodations that are deluxe. That would be an understatement, would it not? Deluxe accommodations. Because like a Super 8 down there in the Keys.
Yeah, exactly.
Constitute deluxe accommodations. It was a bit of a dump, man, but we were in the Keys. But if you really want to have yourself just absolutely a beautiful time, and maybe you're, couples that are neighbors or whatever, friends, and you want to stay together in a place there where there's plenty of room for everybody, this would be it. A big family. I mean, just absolutely dynamite accommodations they have at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. They're limited, so you'll have to check it out on the website, jimmyjohnsonsbigchill.com. Take a look at the menu there. Wow, very diverse, Lubie.
Yep.
Very diverse. You were chowing down on a lot of different things, including everything from
Oh my
pork
God.
nachos to the finest of seafood available there. Absolutely incredible. Of course, they have the sports bar, and that's been remodeled. It's a great place. Canes FSU is going to be dynamite there, right? It'd be worth the drive from anywhere, right? I don't care if you're living in Pembroke Pines. I don't care if you're living in Minnesota. Head down to the Keys there. Right?
Yep.
It's getting cold up there in the Midwest. Come on down to the Keys and enjoy a stay at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104, the Overseas Highway, right there in the heart of Key Largo. All right, we're coming back. Gene Deckeroff going to join us shortly, and we'll take you up until 9 o'clock here on the show today. Great to be with you. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We do have the question out there that the Paulie man posed, and it was Jordan Poole hit a game-winning 3 at the buzzer for Michigan in 2018 to have Michigan advance in the NCAA tournament. Who did he make that shot against? Was it Tennessee, Houston, Texas A&M, or Butler? I'm Jeff Deforrest. He is Mike Lubitz, a well-lit Mike Lubitz on ION Channel and all of our various outlets, streaming audio and video. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge continues in a moment. Now that.
The time!
It's 8:14.
Hey there, it's Mike Mayo. Do you like steaks? Do you like seafood? Do you like classic old Florida charm? You could get that all and more at Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of 95. The Studiali family, they've been running the place a long time. It's been there more than 70 years. And it is now a place you can get early bird specials along with steaks to take home and throw on the grill yourself at the Butcher Shop. That's open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. It's open for dinner every night starting at 4:30, but they are closed on Sundays. Go to Tropical Acres. It's a place to go for a great meal, great people, good value. Tropical Acres.
The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes, because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat, 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a house and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy, with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Dave Parker, that 89 season with the Oakland A's. They went on to win the World Series, just absolutely pummeling the competition as you guys beat the Giants 4-0. What stands out the most for you, Dave Parker, from that 89 season with the Oakland A's?
That was the best club I ever played on. There was no team I played for that was better than the Oakland A's. They had everything. That's what I remember most, is that we would come out and hit BP, Canseco, McGuire, myself, Henderson, and the other pitchers on the opposition would go in because they didn't want to see it.
Buenos dias. The cafecito is piping hot. Why not enjoy it with Defo and Lubie? It's now time for the Defo Show.
That was not gratuitous radio laughter there on that Dave Parker interview. In fact, it's remarkable, Lubie, you were able to salvage even a single cut, as I recall from that interview. Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show here on Ion Channel, streaming audio and video all around the world right now, and having a great time on a hybrid version of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Next week, we go back to the full-blown edition, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I really do believe that Dave Gergely is just absolutely perfect for this green screening setup that we experimented with last week. He will shine in that environment. And I think the Paulie man will shake off what was... Who's the guy? Is it Cade, Cummings, something like that? Who's the guy that was the #1 pick in the NBA draft? Cade something.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, jeez. I'll look it up.
He's been horrible. I mean, he's shooting like 12% from the field there. I mean, literally line drive brick every shot. Starting to come around a little bit. And that was a polyman. A little bit of a cold start there on the green screen thing. But he was red hot today. Cade Cunningham, yeah. I know it was something.
Well, the problem is that studio, once you go there once, it's easy to find. But, it's hard to give directions there, and GPS really has no idea.
It's impossible to guide somebody in there.
So,
Jack Namer's out there with like flags, like he was, trying to slow down a NASCAR race there.
The Polyman gets there probably late. He's, shaboodled as we say.
You know how when people take off with Horizon and a jet ski rental place, I always like watching this because I don't know, I'm somehow fascinated by operators of jet ski rental places and what they have to go through, and then how much money are they making? I mean, look, what is it now, like $1.25 for an hour? Plus, then there are a lot of add-ons on that. It's extended warranty city when you're renting a jet ski, because then you got to pay for the gas. There's a licensing fee. They have to ditch the oil somewhere, whatever. I mean, they come up with like a zillion things. And all of a sudden, your $1.25 is like $1.75. And you're thinking, okay, Harry, yeah, you come too. If you want to split it with somebody. Now the guys make a beeline straight out. As soon as they get past the buoys, man, they gun it straight out to the horizon there, and they disappear forever.
Yep.
And the guy's frantically waving the flags there on the shore. But, I mean, you couldn't see him with a telescope. These people. And that was Jack waving for me when I was first making my first entrance into the Ion Channel studios. Beautiful, by the way. Beautiful facility.
Yeah,
just absolutely fantastic. All right, Gene Deckross is going to join us in a few minutes here. We've got a couple of minutes, though, Lubie. And I did want to say this, and we can preface Gino's appearance here. We're going to talk about the University of Miami versus Florida State. A gigantic rivalry circa what? That was 2 decades ago, Defo. What do you
early
got
2000s. It's still matter early 2000s, but
80s was big, man. Schnelly really started the whole campaign with Bobby Bowden, and they went barnstorming around the state there as if they were Charlie Crist saying, this DeSantis is no good. He's no good, I'm telling you. He's taking money. I don't want to cast any aspersions into the political world out there. But, yeah, did you ever notice this? I did notice this yesterday. This is not meant to be any kind of commentary to the right or to the left, but just an observation on my part. That's kind of how I've made my living my entire life, is making observations, right?
Yes.
I look at everything. One of those guys there, I was sizing up. So what's in this dentist's office? It's a lot of portraits of different ways of depicting teeth. Was in there. And then they got a hat rack with a hat on it, and I finally realized there is nobody in there that was wearing that hat. That hat's just always there yesterday. A lot of old magazines that nobody reads anymore also. Is that still a staple of doctors and dental offices?
Yes. Yes, 100%, and it's friggin' weird.
But I noticed this about DeSantis. He had a press conference yesterday that it should have been a very favorable one, right? He was announcing that teachers are going to make more money. Now, nobody could be opposed to that, could they? Teachers, very valuable asset in American society.
Yes.
My son's wife, the lovely Kelly Deforrest, is a teacher. She just recently went back to it. I've known many fine teachers over the years.
Yeah,
I wasn't particularly fond of any teachers that I had in my lifetime. I don't know if you were.
I had a few.
I hated school. I mean, I really did. I absolutely despised every second of it, except for gym class and
Exactly.
intramural sports, whatever. Being on teams, that was great. But hated school in general. I mean, it was torture for me every minute in a classroom there because you couldn't talk, right?
Oh, it sucked. Yeah, exactly. I was the same thing.
Yeah, it was just, pure and unadulterated ugliness. But everybody that's in the background of a DeSantis press conference looks miserable. Do they not? They all have the face of just like he is about to announce the ultimate bummer legislation and, make an announcement that we're closing the state of Florida to tourism forever. That's it. We're going to put a boundary up there and a fence around the whole state that nobody's ever going to be able to come here. What are you thinking, Lubie? See, you shouldn't say this, man. You can't just blurt out loud what you're thinking. That why don't they? You can't ban all the people from Montreal. I mean, you just can't.
That's so funny.
The Canadians have to come down here and play our good Panther team now, although they lost 2 in a row. By the way, too, and you'll dig this from a sporting standpoint, Lubie, not to transition out of the whole idea that everybody is bummed out in the background of a DeSantis press conference. The faces are sour. Have you looked at it? Anytime he's making an announcement, nobody's happy in the background. They all are standing there like stiffs, like they just had gargled with embalming fluid. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But I did watch the end of the Heat game last night. Were you awake for that? I happened to wake up late. They're out on the West Coast playing the Lakers. The Lakers did not have LeBron James. They also didn't have Rajon Rondo. And the Heat saw Jimmy Butler get injured early in the ball game, and he was in street clothes for the remainder of the contest there, having injured an ankle. Was a report on Jimmy Butler, who's off to a great start to the season here. The Heat were 7-3. The Lakers were kind of staggering because they haven't had LeBron, and they were very wildly inconsistent. Russell Westbrook wasn't exactly on his game. Very low shooting percentage, some really strange lines in the box score for Russell Westbrook, who I think is a terrific player, and I think he'll fare very well with the Lakers. Could you argue, about their big three being as good as, the potential big three with the Brooklyn Nets if Kyrie ever comes back from space? Wherever the hell he is.
He threw that in there. That was great.
Yeah. It's a dynamic big three.
It's very dynamic. I don't know where Westbrook fits in. If he can become a guy that like Harden became when he joined the Nets, then yeah, their big three is ridiculous. It's just
Tyler Hero, not exactly Jerry West yet.
No.
If you wanted to make him Jerry West, because he had a couple of clutch shots. He had a good ball game. He was playing great. And then wide open three-point opportunities late in the game on a couple of occasions where he either could have won it straight up for the Miami Heat or put them in a position to win critical shots. Brick, 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 my friend. Brick, brick, brick. That's 6 bricks right there. And that's about what it was. And then they bricked a bunch of free throws. Duncan Robinson, who should be, if you're a hot shot three-point shooter, should you not be like a 90% free throw shooter?
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
If you're a pure shooter, you can't wait to get to the stripe. Holy Vinnie Johnson. And, it's automatic points. Steph Curry, right? Shoots a very, very high percentage because what? He can hit from, from San Jose, when he's taking a shot. He's barely over the midcourt stripe. All of a sudden, he's going into his jump shot. And so anyway, they bricked a bunch of free throws at the end of the game, and Tyler Hero bricked a bunch of threes, and the Heat lost to the Lakers, a depleted Laker team. Although you could say, things equaled out because Butler was out of the ball game. But they ended up losing that ball game last night. So fall to 7-4. The Lakers now 7-5. Surprising teams, though, in the NBA. Mike Lubitz. The Chicago Bulls are at 8-3. Atop the East with the Wizards. Wizards Bulls. Who would have thought that?
Oh, the Cavs. So haven't the Cavs won like 5 in a row? I don't know if they won yesterday, but
Cavs are 7-5. Yes, Cavs 7-5 on the season. Not too bad. Golden State without even having Klay Thompson. When's he coming back?
They're being really cautious with him. He's coming back sometime this year. Being really cautious, yeah.
My God, you would have thought he had his leg amputated. He would have come back faster. Incredible. I mean, look, that Pistorius guy, right? Did he get out of jail? Pistorius?
I don't know. That's a good question. I
Yeah.
haven't had him in a long time.
Up for parole, yeah. No, he was up for parole like this week. All right, Pistorius, right? That's how you say
Yes,
it.
Oscar Pistorius, yes.
Why don't I want to say like Jocko Pistorius? He was a bass player of great distinction. Anyway, this was the guy with the prosthetic leg, and he was in the Olympic Games. He was
Yes.
a great story, a real heartening story. And then like shot his girlfriend, and all of a sudden, everybody's opinion changed, and rightfully so. All right, we're coming back with Gene Deckeroff, going to join us next year on the program. Special hello to our people at Gulfstream Park, and of course, Deal Volkswagen going strongly right now. I think Jersey's picking up a Tiguan for his daughter Corey today.
Nice.
Great Tiguan black interior, very nice automobile. I love my Tiguan, so check out Deal Volkswagen at dealvolkswagen.com. We're on Ion Channel. It's the Defo Show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz. And we do appreciate all the great comments that we're getting here. Big Possum's been a fan on the chat line here for a long time. And, of course, the great Andy Tiv, always with caustic commentary. Back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Looking forward to talking to Gino. It's 8:29. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way. With distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities, Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time? When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style. And you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo of the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West Side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the East Side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Let's hope we're dead wrong about a lot of things. That could be another book that we put out. Let's hope we're dead wrong about a lot of things. The end is near. You can tell the end is near, man. That you can definitely do that.
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Well, once again, everybody, Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz with you, the Defo Show here, and this all part of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on this fine Thursday on ION Channel. Happy to have you with us on our various audio and video streams. Now, it's always a pleasure to have a conversation with this gentleman. It's an honor, and wow, you talk about Hall of Fame stature, and a great, great run as the play-by-play voice of all of the Seminole sports, and, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and a very distinguished gentleman, one of the kind hearts in the business here, and a man of great distinction. We welcome the voice of the Seminoles, the great Gene Deckeroff, to the program. Gino, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Defo and Lubie, I'm raring to go. It's that's that time of the year, you know, Florida State, Miami, and boy, you can't get fired up for this ball game. You can get fired up for anything. But no, I digress. Happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
To both of you, to your listening audience. And by the way, Lubie, I've never heard you do a radio commercial. Never in my life.
Well,
You sold me on Landlubber's Bar and Grill, baby. I'm ready to go.
Nice.
I'm ready to get some wings.
Next time you're in town, the garlic parmesan. Yes, an innovation there. It's absolutely fantastic. All right. Well, we were saying this, and we didn't want to let this one slip through the cracks, and that's why we're so happy you're joining us, Gino, to help us develop a little bit more enthusiasm that we were sensing here in South Florida for this game, because and we had our dear mutual friend Tony Segreto on with us yesterday, and he said, wow, it's like UMFSU week. And I thought to back in a time where literally you could flip open a microphone here in South Florida and just say UMFSU on a Monday at 6 a.m, and all the way through Friday and up until game time, you would be just going through a series. Manny from Miramar, Mo from Tallahassee, and people be calling in from all over the state to get their opinion in on this game. But unfortunately, it seemed to me that there may be more copy today in the newspapers about the rising cost of gefilte fish down here, Gino, than there was on this game. And you're saying it's still a red-hot commodity, and I'm happy to hear that, especially, I would imagine it's really going to be a big weekend in Tallahassee.
Well, I think it will be. I think we'll have our largest crowd that we have this year. It's senior day, and the final game for, I can't tell who's a senior or super senior, or who's a grad student or what, with the pandemic on your depth chart. You got, I got a guy on our team that was a redshirt senior 2 years ago. I can't figure this thing out.
An 8-year senior. Yes, that's a weird distinction I have to give.
Wait till you get into basketball season, Defo. I mean, some of these guys, 24, 25 years old, still playing college basketball. But,
broke in with Havlicek, when he played for the Celtics.
Defo, I think for both campuses, for both student bodies, for both, the team's fans that follow the team everywhere they go, this is a huge football game. Now, for the general public, it might not be. It's a rarity that these two teams are playing in mid-November, and neither team is ranked. And I know that Miami started the season ranked. Florida State has been, we have been ranked, good Lord, 3 years, I guess, maybe 4. But Miami's won 4 straight in this series. It seems to be a series where one team wins 3 or 4 or 5. Florida State won 7 in a row. We narrowed the gap in the series to Miami at 31 wins, Florida State 30. But now Miami's won the last 4, so it's it's a little hill to climb for FSU. But both of these teams have suffered the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Miami loses a star quarterback. I mean, one of the great ones, Derek King. You lose 2 running backs, and the next thing you know, boom, you're knocking off Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, a ranked team. You're holding serve at home. You're winning 3 in a row. And this man, Dyke kid, is an outstanding quarterback. If you're a Miami fan and you got a freshman quarterback that looks as good as he is, you've got to be fired up. I mean, even if you're not ranked, And you can say, hey, the litmus test is, Mr. Van Dyke, you got to go up to Tallahassee, and you got to beat Florida State. So I think that's going to be, for a Miami fan, that's what I'm looking for. For a Florida State fan, we've lost 2 in a row after winning 3 straight. And last week we played with half the team. Half the team had the flu. Even if they played, they weren't playing at full strength without a quarterback. Jordan Travis, who is gradually coming along to be a really, really good quarterback. And I think that he'll be the quarterback next year as well. But again, we lose to North Carolina State, a game that I thought we had a chance to win. The week before that, we lose at Clemson, a game that really was a 4-point ball game. We had a chance to win that ball game in the fourth quarter. In fact, we had the lead with 7 minutes and 59 seconds to go at Death Valley. So this is a team that's it's suffered some issues. We lose a quarterback to the transfer portal now. We get a healthy quarterback back, and we'll see how it goes. I'll say this: Florida State's ready to play Miami. And if Miami's not ready to play Florida State, they're liable to get upset.
Talking with the one and only, the Hall of Fame voice of the Florida State Seminoles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Gene Deckerhoff. Florida State in year 2 under Mike Norvell. Defo was joking earlier that Norvell looks like an insurance salesman, and he sort of does. He's very straight-laced. The guy, he's very honest to the media and the players, but he's not out there. He's not Lane Kiffin starting stuff. What are your thoughts on Florida State this year as they started 0-4, then won 3 in a row, now have lost 2 in a row, and welcome Miami to town?
Yeah. It's been one of those seasons. I mean, you look back, we take Notre Dame to overtime. We know how good Notre Dame is. You lose on the last play of that ball game. The next week on a short week, probably don't get pumped up to play Jacksonville State, and they stay close. You never want an underdog to stay close. Hail Mary pass the last play of that game, so you're 0-2. Then you come back, play respectable football against some really good football teams, and come up short there. But this team is growing. That's all I can say. Mike Norvell is rebuilding this program, and he's building the way he wants to. And straight laced is a good. If I'm a head coach and I'm on the sideline, I want to be straight laced. I want to convince those moms that my golly, your son can come play for a straight laced coach. And if there was ever a more straight laced head coach in football, it was Bobby Bowden. And he seemed to put together some pretty to quote him, dadgum good football teams, And golly, we miss Bobby. We miss Bobby. I know Defo, you and I talked with Lubie. We talked shortly after the death of the great Bobby Bowden, and he's still looking now. We had a FCA tournament the other day, and I was out there. I don't play golf anymore, so I went out there and was like the starter and everything. I said, Bobby Bowden's looking on. He whispered in my ear, says, if any of you golfers miss a putt and say something naughty, McGore's going to forgive you, because Bobby Bowden told me that. But anyway, but back to the football game. This will be like Norvell's first game as a head coach on the sideline, straight-laced or not straight-laced, in a Miami Hurricane game. Last year, he had to watch the game from his home because of the COVID. You come down, you tested positive with COVID, and could not make the trip to Miami. Of course, Derek and the Canes put a 52 thumping on the nose. Mike was probably glad he was back at his home, to be honest with you. But this will be his first game on the sidelines in the Florida State-Miami series.
Gene Deckerhoff, the voice of the Seminoles, of course, the voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with us on Ion Channel on the Defo Show. Well, we did say, I guess I had Norvell selling extended warranties, but if Bobby Bowden was on TV instead of Tom Selleck selling reverse mortgages, I would have already taken out the loan on my house, because he was very, very convincing. All right, one thing that's great about you, and you gave me goosebumps just talking about the series again, Gene Deckerhoff, and that's part of your greatness, part of your brilliance here. Like Keith Jackson, immediately you're listening to a college football program of some distinction whenever you're calling a game. But calling field goals, and especially climactic field goals, can be a difficult commodity because, let's face it, I mean, there are only so many things that you can say in the sporting vernacular to describe what's going on. But how much agony was it calling those wide right and wide left field goals back in the day, Gene Deckerhoff? I mean, what are your memories of those particular plays? I don't mean to bring up the negative, but it had to be really, really tough. I mean, what do you do after that?
Well, in addition to broadcasting from the smallest play-by-play radio booth in the country of the old Orange Bowl, those wide right ones, wide right twos, wide left ones, wide short, wide long. We had every variety of wide you could have. And I called remember the Miami loss at Tallahassee with a bad snap for the game-winning field goal. I call that wide snap one.
Exactly.
But those have been some great ones, and it's amazing the series that developed really under Bobby Bowden, the late Bobby Bowden, the late Howard Schnellenberger. I mean, they went around the state promoting the football game. And the next thing you know, Miami's winning a national championship, one of five that the Canes have won over the years. And then Bobby Bowden gets his first in '93 and puts that dynasty era together with the 14 consecutive, 10-win top five finishes seasons. I mean, that's unheard of. Nobody's done it since. Nobody did it before. His '99, wire-to-wire championship, he had to go through Miami to win that football game. I think that was '99. So odd number years, Miami was up here in Tallahassee. But it's just been that serious. And it's a shame. Well, you know what? In this day and age, I mean, unless you're number one versus number two, you get very little publicity. There's no buzz on whatever they call that thing that you type on your iPhone. What is it, tweet or Twitter or whatever? I don't do that anymore. But they. It's just in this day and age, it's tough unless you're one versus two. And this is two unranked teams, but two, I think, really good football teams. And maybe that's what college is all about. This is not professional football. It's not professional basketball. These are kids versus kids. And the alumni come out and they enjoy it. And then the radical fans. I watch Miami games when they're on the road. I see Miami Hurricane fans follow that team, whether they're 0-10 or 10-0. And Florida State has a great following just like that. We're not the Dallas Cowboy fans, obviously. We're not the Green Bay Packer fans, obviously. But the college alumni, the fans, that's what makes this game special. It's bragging rights for the Sunshine State. And we've lost 4 in a row. It's time to turn that around. And I never forget the environment when Florida State had won 7 in a row. We come down to Miami stub by toe. But I mean, that was a must win. Canes did not want to lose 8 straight. And I don't think Florida State wants to lose 5 straight.
The great Gene Deckeroff with us here on Ion Channel on the Defo Show, and it's always terrific. There were a couple of cliches, I guess, that applied all the time to the conversations we used to have on Sports Talk Radio here in South Florida, and I would imagine it was the same for you. And all of those great appearances. I mean, still some of my favorite Gene Deckeroff work was with Bobby Bowden on the Bobby Bowden Show. Which, wow, you two guys, and Bowden's ability. Now, were there cue cards involved there? He couldn't have been, calling all of this up from memory when, some guy would say, hey, what about little Johnny Jones? And he'd go, well, he's a young man from Apopka, and he knew, I met his mom and dad. We had the meatloaf when I was at their house. How the hell did he have this total recall of, like, every kid on the roster when there were, like, 100 players that he was looking after at the time?
No cue cards. And, the genre of coaches' television shows, I think, has gone by the by. So I was fortunate to be in the era where coaches now you can watch coaches' shows and see coaches' video on the internet. I mean, you don't have to watch a television on Sunday morning. But and you know what, Defo, he did all of that on his own. He had tremendous recall of memory. And coaches, I think, are this way. They remember it's like a golfer remembers every stroke that he made, why he hit it in the water. How he chipped in it. But head football coaches remember every play, and they remember the players that made the play. I mean, it's uncanny. I go on to the next play, to the next play, to the next play, but I can't remember the plays in sequence like a head football coach had, Bobby Bowden. But Defo, he would do that TV show. After 1989, he'd do that show at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh we'd come home from an away game. It could be 5 o'clock in the morning. We'd do that TV show, so I could do get on a plane and go fly and do a Tampa Bay Buccaneer show. But Bobby agreed to do that, and there's not another coach that would. And I owe Bobby more than just this, but the fact that he would allow me to. He just said, JD, you just wake me up after the commercials, and I'll do that show anytime you want to. Not another coach would have done that. And no, he did not have cue cards, Defo. I'll bet you, if Bobby had a cell phone,
it was amazing.
If Bobby had a cell phone, Lubie, he probably had that landlubber's bar and grill phone number.
There you go.
It was like the amazing Kreskin, just coming up with this stuff out of nowhere. There's a guy named Lou in the family. There's a guy named Lou. I'm seeing Lou. That was fun stuff. All right, I had a visual, and yesterday I was talking about this with Tony Segreto about great plays in the FSU series, and there were so many. And the one that I still have a vivid visual memory of, because I had a great view. I was sitting in the back row on the visitor's side of the Orange Bowl. And this is obviously one of those arenas where, I mean, you were practically hovering over the field there. It was like being at a boxing match at the Blue Horizon. And so you had great great views. From the press box, it was probably more prohibitive. You probably didn't even know if those field goals went through. Trying to crane your neck out that little window there and hope that nobody closed it while you were extended outside. But I do remember that Marvin Jones pummeling Gino Torretta as he was letting go of a football, and it went high in the air, and somehow Lamar Thomas snared it, I believe, over Corey Abraham. And it was a turning point in that particular matchup, which was another one of those heavyweight bouts, 1 versus 2 type of situations with national championship implications, as the cliche used to go. And I know you've probably been asked this a zillion times, but is there a play in particular in the whole series that you just have a vivid memory of, and you can see all the details as it was unfolding, and was of great significance one way or another?
Well, I honestly think the '93 game, Florida State is playing great football. We're ranked number 1. We're trying to win Bobby's first national championship. And remember, that was a close ball game until we picked off a pass and score late in the ball game. That one stands out in my memory. Any of the games that Dalvin Cook played in, I mean, I think he had like 150, another 200-yard game against Miami. He grew up in Miami, played in Miami Central, and the great Dalvin Cook. Every time I see the Vikings, he's scoring a touchdown, you know. But those were games that stand. And it was an incredible football game back in 1987.
Since day one of old school.
Yeah, but to me, that may have been the best college football game. That '96 Florida State-Florida game, 1 versus 2. Those two are right up there in my memory banks as being, I think somewhere I read that 28 players off of the rosters of that '87 Miami Florida State. I think 28. Maybe I'm slighting it, but they all made it to the NFL. I mean, we were watching an NFL football game in Tallahassee, Florida.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it was like. I mean, it was just an offense, defense, and I still think if we had snapped the ball before the snapper was ready to, the holder was ready to catch the ball, we'd have won that football game. That would have put 3 points on the board, but we lost by 1. Was it Bubba McDowell knocked that ball down? Back the game that you were referring, I don't think it was Lamar Thomas that he may have scored the touchdown, but it was his sidekick on 4th down that made the big catch that extended the drive. And both played for the Buccaneers, and I'm having
Was it Horace Copeland? Wasn't it Horace Copeland?
Oh, Horace Copeland. Could have been.
Copeland killed the
nose. Made the catch.
Yeah.
It was High C made the catch, and then Lamar and LT made the touchdown. If I may be wrong. Hey, we're going back a long way, fella.
Yes.
Yeah. We just remember Marvin Jones as if he was shot out of a cannon, sticking his helmet in the chest of Gino Torretta.
Shade tree.
Yeah. Yep. And he was planted literally 6 feet under the ground there. Fred Hunter was giving him a standing 8 count, the funeral guy here. And somehow they completed a pass on that play. It was a miracle.
Yeah. Well, how about 1989? Speaking of Gino Torretta, his first start was at Florida State, and I'll never forget Burt Reynolds was in that ball game. He said that we're under construction, so we had plywood around us. He's sitting on a stool, a big old tall stool right behind Vic Frenzy and me. And one, Leroy Butler picks off the very first play of the game, if I'm not mistaken. He picks off Gino. And then the first offensive play of the game is a toss pitch to Dexter Carter. Carter scores the touchdown, and Burt Reynolds, and he falls off the stool. But 89 was a classic also. 89 was a great game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
made a lot of money on Smokey and the Bandit, though.
Exactly.
Always a pleasure. Have fun. Yeah, on the call. That'll be great. And, of course, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how many times have you mentioned this year that Tom Brady is 44 years old? Or have you dodged that one?
Well, I try not to mention that. I just like to say he's thrown 44 touchdowns, That's the first touchdowns in years.
How old is he? Hank Aaron. That's what comes to mind. Hey, Gino, always a pleasure, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to catch your feed of the game because you make it so exciting. And thanks so much for being with us. It's always an honor to have you on the show.
Okay, guys. Have a great Veterans Day, fellas. Enjoy.
Thanks, Gene. Be safe.
Will do. Gene Deckeroff, man. That guy's great. You know what? He had me, when I used to hear Keith Jackson calling college football there and, the Cornhuskers. I mean, it just made you feel like you wanted to get into the game. And yes. Gino had me at hello today with UMFSU, which I do believe that. The rising cost of gefilte fish, we'll have to run this by the Gambling Gourmet when he's on with us tomorrow on a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. The rising cost of gefilte fish, which everybody is concerned about here in town.
There you go.
There's a cream cheese shortage. You go to the store, it looks like, what? Did I miss something? Where's Norcross? You're thinking there was a hurricane. The shelves are barren. was a great picture put up by our friend Big Rich on social media, and I guess this was circulating, of Black Friday, one of our favorite days in the shopping world, because it's unfortunate, but some poor schmuck that just got a job, part time, is the guy that always has to open the door at some New York Best Buy, and that's the first item on the news. Right, here's Nora O'Donnell with the CBS Evening News, and she says another part-time schmink was trampled. Trampled. I mean, like. And people are losing their lives over this because
Honestly.
people are running to get like giant 70-inch TV screens for
Exactly.
$542, and they get another one free, and it comes with a hot dog. I mean, it's insane, the incentives that they have there on Black Friday. But there was a picture, and it was just people walking into the ocean, and it was entitled Today's Version of Black Friday, and they were going out to cargo ships
Oh, geez.
to pick up goods. They were wading their way into the ocean with scuba gear on. Might be a slower pace through the turnstiles, with the modern day version, because everything is still out there at sea, my friends, including us. All right, thanks to Gino. That was great. Very entertaining, Mike Lubitz, and his total recall of stuff. So I've had that play wrong the entire time that I've been talking
I don't
about
know.
it. I think Lamar Thomas snatched one from Corey Abraham.
Well,
I believe that was the catch. On the Marvin Jones play where he planted, you know the play I'm talking about.
Yes,
Gino
we
Toretta.
talked about with Marvin. The three defensive backs are either Clifton Abraham, Corey Sawyer, or Corey Fuller. So
Clifton
you
Abraham,
always,
was it?
always
Okay.
combine names there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's
But I don't know the FSU roster like I did the
Well,
Hurricanes, so I don't mind if I juxtapose a couple of names when it comes to the Seminoles.
I think Thomas was the one that made that play, but I mean, who am I to fight with?
Pretty sure Thomas leaped up on the right sideline, made a brilliant catch, and somehow miraculously the Canes converted, and they went on to win that game. Otherwise, it was going up in smoke. All right, we're coming back with more. Wrap things up on this fine Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Did anybody ever get the Polymath Trivia question? I don't think so, huh?
No, they didn't.
All right. Jordan Poole hit a game-winning 3 at the buzzer for Michigan. And what was the answer to that one, Lubie? Did Polyman ever give you the correct answer?
Houston was the correct answer. Houston.
Okay. I wouldn't have got that. Yeah. All right. We'll come back and wrap things up on this Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Don't forget to stop by Hialeah Park. They have all kinds of great things going on. The simulcasting is rocking today. Opening day. Nice. At the Big A, man.
Nice.
I like when they switch. Do they still do that? The inner dirt track at the Big A in the wintertime, man. It's bitter cold outside of New York. The conditions are cold, clear, and cold. That was the same conditions when the Polymen had the 6 bypasses. They posted on that little grease board that they have with the hospital. And they got the temperature, this, that, the other thing. And clear and cold were the conditions of Polymen's heart. That's how we like it. And Aqueduct opens up today. Supposedly a real good card. I kind of perused it. I wouldn't be able to tell you, I don't have enough knowledge about the New York horse racing, thoroughbred base there to tell you whether it's a great card or not. But I heard that from various handicappers. Real good card to open up at Aqueduct opening day of their meet today. And you can catch the simulcast right at beautiful Hialeah Park. So check that out. All right, we'll come back and wrap things up in a moment on this edition. Tomorrow, I believe, we go with another bold experiment here on Ion Channel. We're hoping Jack can put that together for us, and we'll have a different view of the Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday from Gulfstream Park. Back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:56.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day, step and repeat, 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come. The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Winning pick threes, doubles and exactas and trifecta keys, overs and unders and long gambling flings. These are a few of my favorite things. Bookies and loan sharks who charge little Jews, parlays and long shots and wins by the cues, blackjack and roulette and pairs of pocket kings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Natalie Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen.
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
A lot of fun today, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, a little bit of a hybrid version there, but we did have a good time with Dave Gergely, who joined us earlier, and the Polyman, Paul Massell. And the green screening will be back in action. I guess I shouldn't give that away, but it is the magic of television and the people at Ion Channel. Very happy about that innovative approach that we have to the new version of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We'll be back in action in the studio next week, and hopefully be experimenting once again tomorrow with that very same format. With our Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday, we'll bring you our handicappers and all kinds of insight into the game. That should be the theme song, should it not? The Degenerate Friday. Point spreads and parlays and winning pick threes. Unbelievable. Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun being with you guys. Our thanks to Gene Deckeroff for joining us here on the program. He got me reinvigorated for the UM-FSU game. Although I would have to say I've become very passive about UM football. I don't even get overly excited about the Manny Diaz must go argument. It doesn't seem like, and this is a horrible thing to say, but it doesn't seem like we've gotten past what was a festering indifference to what was going on there. Was it brought about by Al Golden? You talk about a guy that looked like a used car salesman, man. Hey, I tell you what, this one's a beauty, and it's going to run all day. You better take it now. It's not going to be on a lot for long. He was selling a pile of crap, wasn't he? I mean, a good-looking guy, man. Seemed to fit all of the parts that they were looking for there. A very respectable guy with the orange tie there on the sideline. Randy Shannon was supposed to bring back the local recruiting. He couldn't do that.
Nope.
Either that or he couldn't coach as a head coach.
Coach.
Very respected. It's kind of cold to the media, too. I don't think you can turn your back on the media and the fans, which we are your link. All those coaches out there that think the media should be despised. I guess they have their own direct links now with Twitter and things like that, so they bypass the guys that are trying to communicate their message to people. But Randy Shannon was very cold with the media, and that didn't help that he wasn't winning either.
Nope.
So that helped put an even greater divide and, the chaos that now is what once was a great fan base there for the University of Miami. Never overwhelming, but very solid here in town.
Yes.
The indifference about the UM-FSU game. A little bit of that absolved and resolved for me by Gene Deckeroff. So I'll tune in. I think this new quarterback, like you said, very exciting, right?
No, he's good.
I like the way you put that. That was
No,
great.
he's good.
All right, we have to run. We're on overtime here on Ion Channel, taking some liberties here as we usually do. Lubie, great job. Good having you back here. I'm Jeff Deforrest. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. Under what could be a spectacular look with Jersey Kyle, our handicappers, the professor and Mark Lawrence, and the gambling gourmet Mike Mayo, all joining us. What will seem to be a reasonable facsimile of Gulfstream Park. And that's happening tomorrow on Ion Channel. We'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate all the comments there on the comment board. We'll keep that going, too. And we'll see you next time as we leave you now that.
The time.
We got the 903.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my show.